Hello my friends, and welcome back to Ration Nerd. If you thought we were going to pump the brakes after doing a Greek ration that was really bitchin' and doing a Canadian trial ration, and then we were just going to get into something like normal and not special because I needed a break, hell no, we're going to keep forging ahead. We have got an extraordinarily rare ration that you are seeing right now here for the first time on YouTube, right here on good old Ration Nerd. This is a 24-hour enhanced ration pack for the British military. And what makes this so different than the other British ration packs, might you ask? Well, let me tell you. This one is enhanced, which makes it special. And nobody else has reviewed one of these. There has been one review that I'm aware of, and it was only in text. So let me give you a little bit of background on this ration. But if you appreciate the fact that I continue to slam really cool rations in your face, and in mine for that matter, you can hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and talk to me in the chat. It's always a good time to hear from you guys. I'm not really sure what the fuck I was doing there. It's all good. I do have to do a couple of shout outs though. First and foremost, I'd like to shout out Emily for sending this ration over to the channel. She also sent me two more really bitchin' rations that we're going to get into here really soon. So thanks, Emily. I really appreciate that, and I will do my absolute best to do this ration some justice. And then I had another subscriber, and I don't know if they wanted me to put their name out there, so you can message me in the chat if you were the person that shipped me these two face shovels. That was really cool. Thanks a lot. I don't care how small or maybe goofy you might think it is. It all means a lot to me. It's a lot of fun. Thank you very much. So let's get on with this. I just want to touch it. This is menu number 3. It is a 2022 production date. And before we get into the ration, Emily was kind enough to send me over some history on this thing. And knowing what you're getting into is always a lot of fun. You don't always get solid information on rations from foreign countries. Even those that speak English and may happen to be one of our major allies, we don't always have the best information. This ration, the Enhanced ORP, is essentially the successor to the UK Jungle Ration of 2010. That UK Jungle Ration was actually still in production in 2014. This was really just a name change from the Jungle Ration to the 24-hour Enhanced Ration Pack. This ration was actually designed for UK Special Forces or high-intensity jungle combat. I imagine when you're sweating that ass off in the jungle, you're going to need some extra calories. So apparently this has a bunch of extra drinks and snacks, upping the calorie count to 4,500 instead of the 4,000 calories that come in a normal ORP. And the cool thing is that less than 15,000 of these rations are made every year, and that's less than 1% of total British ORP production. That's pretty cool. And this thing is in general about 400 to 500 grams heavier than your standard ORP. So there is your informational ration history lesson, courtesy of Emily, because I wouldn't have had all that really cool info to put in your face. And if you need a big ass sack of food for Thanksgiving, you know what you could do? I mean, we're talking about giving thanks, so I just turned that in Thanksgiving. That was kind of gay, but anyway, if you need a big ass sack of food for your Thanksgiving dinner plate, do you know what you could do? You could join me on Patreon, because you know what happens when you're a Patreon member. For $5 a month, your name automatically gets entered into the ration giveaway. And this month, I'm giving away a big ass ration. This is a Ukrainian War Aid ration, menu number 1, 3,900 calories, 1.9 kilograms of it could be yours goodness. Now, with all that nonsense out of the way, let's get into this ration and let's see what you get in the Enhanced Ration Pack. Really looking forward to this. I love me some British rations. Actually picked up a 24-hour cold weather British ration, which is really cool. We're going to get to that in a little bit. It's already really expired, so considering this one was produced in 2022, I figured we'd get into it today and get it while everything is nice and fresh and not stale. That ought to be awesome. And you know how we go. We've got to go at it from the back. There's a warning on the back. That is the property of the Ministry of Defense, and unauthorized sale and or purchases prohibited. Well, I didn't sell it, nor did I purchase it. So this was actually a gift, so it totally doesn't apply to me. Anyway, we go at it from the back. I'm definitely saving this bag, because this may be the only enhanced ration pack I'm ever able to lay my hands on. So you'll have to pardon me while I delicately try not to pierce the front of the bag. He says, giggle, giggle. We try just to cut the back, because I want to save this because as the title of the channel says, I'm kind of a nerd about this stuff. So let's see what we get in this enhanced ration pack. I'm loving this. This is tons of fun. So we start out with a big ass empty Ziploc bag, which is always actually a really good ration addition, simply because you can store half-eaten or partially eaten things. You could use that to gather some water. You could use that to poop in. You could use it to smother the enemy. It has lots of uses, so a Ziploc bag is always really cool. Looks like we got, oh, chocolate pudding and chocolate sauce. Can't wait to get into that. That is 200 grams of British chocolate pudding and chocolate sauce, which I happen to like a lot. If you couldn't tell from my tone of voice, I'm pretty excited to see that ration item. And we have a flameless ration heater, heating up your food, whether you're in the jungle or whether you're just a special operator. Having a nice hot meal is always a good look, unless you're in the jungle, in which case you might not really want a hot meal, but that's completely up to the end user. We have a fortified energy drink powder. What flavor is that guy? Refreshing strawberry. It's not just strawberry, it's refreshing strawberries. And we have 300 grams of pasta bolognese. Pasta bolognese is pretty basic, but every once in a while you get one and it's absolutely bitchin'. We'll find out. Oh, now we're talking. We have chicken, curry, potatoes, and rice. That sounds like dinner to this guy. I'm really jazzed about that. That's 300 grams. This ought to be really good. I've always liked all of like the curry and the Indian dishes that come in British rations, so I'm all about this. That sounds like dinner. We have some salted peanuts. Never wrong with 50 grams of salted peanuts. Love me some peanuts, to be fair. That's one I've not seen in a British ration before. We have a beefsteak bar, pepper. So that is probably going to be like a Jack Link's. Really cool. 25 grams of a beefy steak bar. We've got 2 fruit flavored drink powders here. We have to see the inkjet for the flavor. So that one looks like grape, and this one says man. I guess that's mango. We'll have to find out. A couple of fruit-flavored drink powders never hurt anybody, and they're pretty hefty, to be fair. There's probably real sugar in there. Ought to make them taste pretty good. Hey, then we have a lemon-flavored drink powder coming in at 45 grams. You know what? Emily was absolutely right. There are a lot of drinks in this ration, so we're definitely going to be hydrating today. Hydration is really good. If you're not hydrating on a regular basis, you really ought to. You'll be a better person. You'll be better at work. You'll be better at home. You'll be better with your kids. You'll be better with your baby daddy kids. It don't even matter. And you'll also be better in that, you know what I'm saying. If you're hydrated, everything's just a little bit better. Now let's get back into this thing. We have a pack of Plum Jam by Andros. I love that woman. Check her out. Just look at that face. That face does not lie. And you know what that face says? That face says, I have got a little sack of plummy goodness for that ass. And that is exactly what she says. I swear to God, she's talking to me. I can hear it. Really excited about the Plum Jam, if you couldn't tell. And I woke up in a really good mood this morning because I knew I was doing this ration. I know there's going to be coffee in here. That's always a good thing. And I've had me some British brew before. It's not too shabby, so I'm waiting for the breakfast coffee to get in my face. And we have a pack of Sambal. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't think it's that hot or spicy. It's just kind of okay. We'll try it on its own just to give it another fair day in court. Why not? We have it here. But we got a pack of Sambal to season your food. That is definitely an item I have never seen in a British ration. That's really cool. We have a 30-gram exotic fruits nougat bar. Awesome. I love me the nougat bars that come in French rations, and now I get a British nougat bar. Those pieces of fruit are really large and in charge in there. Kind of reminds me of a fruit cake. Kind of scary, but I absolutely love them. Now we're talking 100 grams, dry weight, raspberry toasted muesli with milk. Sounds absolutely fucking amazing to this guy. That looks like breakfast to me. Of course, we could always have chocolate pudding for breakfast. No, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Okay, whatever. Ooh, then we have a big old sack of Biscuits Brown. I absolutely love Biscuits Brown. I hope these survived and didn't go stale because these two paired together are going to be really awesome. Love me some Biscuits Brown. That's a pretty hefty satchel of Biscuits Brown too. I'm loving it. Oh, then we have the newer ration item in the British arsenal that I love, the fruit flapjack. Any of the flapjacks completely do it for me. This is the smaller version. In some of the ORPs, they have a much larger version of this. This is an excellent, awesome, yummy, chewy, delectable ration item right there. Coming in at 50 grams. I don't know whether to have that for breakfast or have it as like lunch dessert. I'm not 100% sure, but damn, they're good. And then we have another Ziploc bag with a whole bunch of extra stuff in it. Pretty cool. let's get into this and see what else we get with this ration. I'm jazzed. 4,500 calories. We're putting it down, baby. Then we have 3 of the 3-in-1 teas. Absolutely love them. I don't normally drink cream in my tea. Something about the powdered British 3-in-1 teas, I really like them. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe they just make really good tea. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And, you know, some British people are going to tell me about myself. That's completely fine. But we have 3 of those 3-in-1 teas. 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch, and 1 for dinner. That's pretty amazing. We have a pack of windproof, waterproof matches with a striker. Really badass. We have 3 packs of strong mint gum. Always good to have something to do with your face in between meals. And we have 3 3-in-1 coffees. That just gave me a chubby. I mean, I'm really excited about it. These are just like the Nescafe packs. Not sure who packs them for the British military, but damn, I'm excited about 3 packs of 3-in-1 coffee. I'm just assing up the ration table, not making this look pleasant at all. We have a pack of tissues, probably one of the best ration items on the planet. Give a soldier a pack of tissues. You can wipe that nose, you can wipe that face, you can wipe that ass, you can wipe your friend's ass. If you're a team player, if not, they're all about you, but a pack of tissues is just a really smart, lightweight item to add to any ration. It should be in every ration on the goddamn planet. Then we have 2 of these Vesti Foods, alcohol-free, antibacterial wipe. These are good also to clean up that back door and a messy face if you need it. I don't know about you, but for me, it would definitely be all about the back door. Keeping the back door nice and clean and not stanky is a really good idea for lots of reasons. And if you don't know them, just Google that shit. We're not here for that today. Anyway, we have a couple of antibacterial wipes. Always a good time keeping it clean here on Ration Nerd. Then we have a pack of hot chocolate flavored drink powder. Good shit. That is a big hefty sack of hot cocoa. Then we have 6 water purification tablets. Each one of those is good for 1 liter of water, and it makes perfect sense if you're in a jungle environment. You're going to need to purify your water, period, end of story. Water purification is really smart. And then we have that big old traditional size and traditional style British face bucket. I mean, look at that thing. Doing. You could probably launch a small hand grenade with that thing. You could put somebody's eye out with that. You could probably turn it into a prison shiv, and you can certainly shovel a metric shit ton of food in your face with that big old bucket. And that is everything out of the bag. Well, my friends, this is everything contained in that British Enhanced Ration Pack for 24 hours. You know what, Emily, wherever you are, this coffee is for you, whatever time of day it is right now in Great Britain. It's dark 30 in the morning here right now, but wherever you are, I hope this coffee warms your soul because we're about to get into it. I'm going to get breakfast out onto a tray. We've got some serious life-altering decisions to make. And then I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Did you miss me? I know you did. Anyway, for breakfast, we're going to have one of those 3-in-1 teas. We're going to get into a 3-in-1 coffee, duh. We're going to have a mango-flavored, fruit-flavored drink powder, as well as some biscuits, brown and jam. I just couldn't resist. To throw some protein in the mix, we're going to get that beefsteak bar rocking on for something a little savory at the end. And we're going to check out this raspberry toasted muesli with milk. Hell yes, this is a good day. And just to throw a big old salute to my British brothers and sisters out there, we're going to open up the tea first, this 3-in-1 tea. It's good stuff. Didn't even make a mess. That's all proper, like British style. And that smells like absolutely nothing. It's not going to taste like nothing. I've had this before. I'm pretty excited about it, if I'm being honest. And now it's time for that 3-in-1 coffee. Hello, coffee. I missed you so much since yesterday morning. I need you in my life. Can you please never leave me again? I need this goddamn coffee. Let me tell you what. Let's get this 3-in-1 coffee out into the cup. And it smells good. And let's double check. Yes, I did grab the man flavor, or mango as it would be. So we'll get that out into our glass. Superior hydration going on at the ration table this morning. That smells absolutely fruity, yummy, sweet, and amazing. I can taste that in my breath. Let's get everybody hydrated. And that nice clean water, yo. And we'll get that big old face bucket. We'll give everybody a little swizz. Pinkies out for all my British peeps. And the nice thing is, this drink has a lot of sugar all just laying at the bottom. We'll get in there and stir that up. This will be nice and sweet. This drink mix actually calls for 500 mils of water, so they're definitely making it easy for you to stay hydrated with this ration. I absolutely love that. Yes, let's get the rest of this breakfast out on the tray. I'm not exactly excited about eating. I am more excited about drinking all this coffee action. What is going on in there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh? Like, I'm not really okay. Oh, that does not smell great. God damn it. All right, I'm going to have to defer to my sensibilities here. Okay, so this is a foil package that has plastic on the inside. Now, there is a film over top of this beefsteak bar that I am, quite frankly, a little scared of and not really aware of what this bar is supposed to look like. So it's almost like this thing has a cocoon of like some weird skin-like substance on it. That's going to be pretty hard to see on camera. It's almost, it's gelatinous and weird. I really hope this bar is, it peeled off like sunburned skin. That's really disgusting. I really hope that's supposed to be like that. It does not smell great. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. That bar, that does not smell great. We're probably going to get a bite because I'm stupid, but that does not smell great. Not so great with the peppered beefsteak bar. The inside of that package doesn't even look all that savory. And this would be a perfect time to check out one of those alcohol-free antibacterial wipes. That might just save the old day. So let's grab one of these antibacterial wipes before we get the coffee, before we get anything. Let me sing the praises of this really large and in charge antibacterial wipe. You could definitely save this for using several times. Oh, as I shake the whole table, you could save this and use it several times throughout the day. I'm going to use it to get that beef stick stuff off of my fingers. That just doesn't look great to me. That is definitely interesting, to say the least. But did I tell you how awesome this antibacterial towel is? It's pretty great. All right, Mr. Coffee, I don't want to do this to you. I would never normally put tea first, but this is a British ration, and a British person sent it to me, so I figured it'd be respectful to get a little sip of the tea. I'm sorry. I know you're pissed. Don't be mad. Today, it just so happens we're going to get a little sip of this 3-in-1 instant tea, and that still smells like absolutely nothing. Let's give it a taste. And that is really good, nice and sweet and creamy. Definitely tastes like tea. Doesn't smell like a damn thing, but it certainly tastes great. So the only thing about having all these 3-in-1 drink packs, which they do to reduce weight, which is kind of cool, but everything is pre-sweetened, so you don't get any sugar packs. So if your muesli isn't sweet enough, you're screwed. If your beverages are not sweet enough, hey, it is what it is. To be fair, that's got a nice level of sweetness to it. Certainly a middle-of-the-road sweet and creamy tea. And to be honest, this is the only time I actually drink tea with cream in it, is when I get a 3-in-1 out of a British ration, because the shit is really good. Hello, coffee, my good friend. Anyway, we are going to get a sniff of this coffee, and that has a really nice coffee smell. Let's get a taste. Oh, absolutely. Really creamy, only mildly sweet. Coffee flavor is really nice. This isn't like a gourmet cup of coffee, but what it is absolutely acceptable. It has a decent level of sweetness. If you weren't a cream and sugar kind of guy, you could probably get down with this just because it's coffee, because if you know, you know. Sometimes, regardless of whether it has cream or sugar, just like me, when it doesn't have any cream, I'm still sitting here sucking down the coffee because I absolutely have to have it. And this coffee absolutely scratches that itch. Speaking of scratching that itch, thank you very much, Mr. Coffee. Now let's get into the rest of this. Let's get our biscuits brown out and hope these guys stood the test of time and didn't get kind of stale and funky on me. That would really suck because I love me some biscuits brown. Let's get our face in there and give them a smell. Those biscuits brown smell great. Let me just dump this pack out because I want all of the biscuit brown goodness. I wish there were more big pieces, but you know what? I'll take them just the way they are. So as you can see, biscuits brown are an absolutely whole wheat affair. The whole kitchen sink is in those things. Absolutely great. We'll wait to get a nibble of those because I love them, and I'll just stop talking about the ration as I sit there and just nom nom on biscuits brown. Let's get our raspberry toasted muesli out here. It wasn't really a tear notch, but ooh, we made it happen. We almost dumped it, but it's fine. We'd have dumped it on the tray, but you know, we make messes here on Ration Nerd. That's what we do. All right, we made a big funky hole in the side of the package, so we're just gonna have to dump it out there. We're not gonna get to take a look at it before it goes on the tray. All right, now that doesn't look like a whole lot as it sits, but it is 100 grams dry weight, and there is some powdered milk in there. We see some oats. Everything is really coated in that milk powder, so it's actually kind of hard to ID things. Looks like we have some raisins in there. We're just gonna have to hydrate it and see what we have. We have some small cubes of fruit, very likely apple pieces, but let's spread this out a little bit with this big ass shovel. Let's clean up our tray a little bit, and then we'll get some nice hot water in here. Let's try to get all the muesli for breakfast, please, and thank you. So I am gonna hydrate this the way that I like it. I like my muesli a little bit on the thick side. I don't like it super runny and watery. So I'm going to just try to add enough moisture to get it all nice and hydrated and mixed up and leave it nice and thick. I don't know. Am I screwing the pooch on that? Not 100% sure. Let's get this all nice and mixed up so it can absorb all that juicy water we put in there. There's definitely some pumpkin seeds floating around in there now that the milk powder is kind of washing out. We definitely have some oats. I think I'm seeing some spelt flakes in there. Looks like that's a little barley hunk. Not too bad. We have several different grains floating around in here. Not the easiest thing to mix up on a tray. It would have been a lot easier to mix it either in the bag or in my mess cup. But you know, I have a hard enough time keeping that damn mess cup clean that I figured, well, the tray is just a hell of a lot easier to clean. All right, now that muesli has had a minute to rehydrate, it is super thick. Maybe I should have made it just a little bit thinner, but you know what? That is quite okay by me. I kind of like it like that. It's like elementary school paste. It's pretty neat, but we definitely have some raisins going on in here, some really small pieces of toasted almond. We have some pumpkin seeds, oats, spelt. It is really thick, kind of finely cut oats and grains in this milky paste. I would say sauce, but it's not a sauce at all. Let's get this face bucket loaded up with some of that muesli, bring it up to you so you can see the first bite going in the old face hole. I don't think there's a chance of any of that falling off the spoon. That's pretty thick. Anyway, let's get a bite and see what that muesli's all about. And that muesli's really good. It's a little bit underwhelming. It's certainly not sweet enough. Only hint of sweetness you get out of this is when you get a bite of the fruit. That's okay. We do have some jam to rectify that situation. And I suppose if I was really desperate for some sweetness in this, I could always grab the hot cocoa powder, drizzle some of that on there, or even one of the fruit drinks. That might even taste amazing with this. A little bit of fruity, sweet goodness in there might go a long way. So you definitely have options around sugar if you just don't have it, which this ration does not have. But what it does have is some pretty bitchin' Andros plum jam. We're going to use some of this Andros plum jam on our muesli. I know it's kind of like sacrilege. It's dying to go on the biscuits brown, but we do need to rescue this muesli just a little bit for my tastes, mind you. And while we're at it, we might as well load some of these biscuits brown up with a little bit of that Andros plum jam because it's absolutely amazing. The biscuits deserve the jam, and the jam absolutely deserves the biscuits. These are yummy as hell. Can't wait to snack into these things. Speaking of those biscuits brown, I just can't take it anymore. We got some biscuits brown with some Andros plum jam on there. And those biscuits brown are excellent. You can actually see in the texture of the biscuit, all those brown pieces are like little brown, looks like chips in there. You can lay your eyes on that and potentially see what I'm talking about. Those little brown spots in there. This is made from the entire wheat bran. They don't remove anything. They just grind the whole damn thing up and put it right in the biscuit. That's a hell of a fiber boost. It'll help you stay regular. I don't need any help with that, but I do love me some biscuits brown. And we'll go with one solo just for shits and giggles because these things are great. And those biscuits brown are absolutely exceptional. Only lightly sweet, nice and toasty, baked really well. These are yummy as hell. I could eat these solo by themselves with nothing else, although I have to say that the jam is a big plus. It makes the biscuits that much better, but if all I had was a pack of biscuits brown with nothing to go on them, I certainly wouldn't complain about it. Let's get some more of this muesli in the face now that we have some of that yummy ass Andros plum jam on there. That plum jam brings even more fruit flavor to the palate. To be fair, the only fruit you actually taste in this is the raisins, so the plum jam is a big plus in this. It's a big flavor boost as well as a really good sweetener for it. This muesli is pretty decent with the plum jam. It's fucking epic is what it is. This is really just a basic muesli, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with basic. There's nothing wrong with something that's plain or not very sweet. But everybody has different tastes, so I'm sure, even in Britain, somebody might think that this just isn't sweet enough and throw some plum jam on there, and frankly, that's what this shit's in the ration for. They don't give you plum jam just to put on the biscuits. You can put that shit wherever you want to put it. And that is some stick to your ribs, like absolutely fill you the hell up muesli, especially for me. Not a big breakfast guy, and stuff like this in the morning, really knocks whatever hunger I'd normally be getting around 1:30 or 2 o'clock. I'm not even hungry at that point. You could add more water to this if you really wanted to make it thinner. I like mine kind of thick and pasty like this. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I just needed one like enormous fiber push in the morning. I don't know what I was thinking. This is a lot of fiber to have for breakfast. I'll probably be moving those bowels regularly today. Probably one of the reasons why these items are chosen. Not just for their nutritional value, but for the fact that they make you poop, and even soldiers have to poop. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at that thing, and there's just this big question mark in my brain right now. Like, do I really want to put that in my mouth? I'm not 100% sure. I wish I had some way of knowing if that, like, weird gel on the exterior is supposed to be there, or if that's just some really nasty like food poisoning growth, like just spreading out into the package. I'm still pretty scared about that, if I'm being honest. It has a weird dark spot right there. Oh, anyway, but those biscuit brown pieces in the muesli are absolutely yummy. Since the muesli isn't that sweet, it really brings out the light sweet flavor of the biscuit brown. And when you get some of that jam in there, it's just absolutely yummy. I'm almost not upset that my biscuits brown got busted up, because this is a really great, really good flavor combo. And since we have so many biscuit pieces in there, we can really go to town with the jam and just make this like, I don't know, a giant child breakfast where we're just going to sit here like a kid. We're going to throw biscuits in our muesli, cover the whole thing with jam, and make a goddamn mess. And why would we do such a thing, might you ask? Because we can. That's why. Biscuits brown, all up in my breakfast face. Look at that. That is an absolute mess. It is like a child sitting down at the ration table. It's pretty much like a child sitting at the ration table anyway. It's all good. Look at that big old mess. That is just sexy. That is just messy and sexy all at the same time. In the face. That's absolutely yummy. It's a big fat mess. It doesn't even matter. It's really good. It's absolutely banging. I don't know what else to say. This muesli was a little plain on its own. With a little help, it turned into a pretty damn amazing breakfast item. And that milk powder in there is really rich, especially when you mix up the muesli as thick as I have. That's a really rich, pretty damn yummy milk powder in that muesli. That last bite of that thick, creamy, and now very interesting muesli, along with some biscuits brown and plum jam. That is absolutely the way to do it. That's doing breakfast right, like an adolescent. Really fun. And I'm not doing a spoon drop because that might get welded to the tray. Little cleanup crew for these biscuits brown. I'm all about that. This Andros plum jam just can't be beat. It's so damn good. Let's clean that palate out so that way we can taste that mango drink. Let's try that mango flavored drink mix. And that is really good. Oh wow. Yes, that makes a really good sized drink. Really nice flavor. It's not like real fruit juice or anything, but it certainly has a really great mango-ish flavor. It's sweet. It tastes like fruit. It's cold. It's yummy. That's a damn good fruit drink. And now we're down to this guy. I'm not really sure, guys. I just don't think that is still technically edible. That is like all the fat has separated from it somehow. Here, get a look at that. Would you put that in your face? How about that? That for you? You? A bite? No bite? Oh, come on now. You guys are killing me. Let's try to smell this thing. Oh, ew, just ew. Oh, no, I can't. To be honest with you, that Canadian ration, the one I just did last week, got me a little ill, and I'm just not in the mood to sit on the toilet for a couple of days and not feel great. I'm going to leave that where it lies. I have some serious suspicions about that thing having some serious foodborne illnesses that I don't want to bring into my body, and I need to wash these hands. I'm not even going to touch my tea or the fruit drink because I'm going to go wash these digits. I'm going to save that antibacterial wipe for later. Speaking of later, after I go wash these digits, I am going to drink that tea, and I'm definitely going to drink that mango drink. We're going to be uber hydrated today. That is going to be awesome. I'll see you guys in 3 or 4 hours. We'll crack into some lunch. All right, my friends. Well, welcome back to lunch. It's totally lunchtime here in Ration Nerdland, and we're going to take advantage of that special time of the day to have another meal together. We're going to get into that lemon flavored drink powder. We're going to super hydrate, and we're going to get some refreshing strawberry fortified energy drink powder. We're absolutely going to have a coffee, and we're going to crack into some nuts. I was going to do a nut joke, but it just wasn't there, at least not right now. Maybe later. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're going to get some of this nougat with fruit hunks in it. We've got that pasta bolognese. We've got that yummy ass fruit flapjack and some sandball to throw in that pasta bolognese in case it happens to be really boring. But we've got to get this pretty cool British flameless ration heater up and running. So let's get that main tucked away in this FRH before we make up the drinks. Man, that's really messy. Like I said, let's get this FRH open about 4 times. Maybe I do need that coffee. I edited that part out. Sorry you didn't get to see the bag tear, but in goes that 300 grams of pasta bolognese. Excellent. So now we have a fill line on here. Pretty cool. Let's just dump it on the tray. That's a much better idea. Who needs it inside the ration heating bag? Let's just dump it all over the damn tray. That's great. And that is asking for quite a bit of water. I'm hoping that this thing is going to work out really well. We're going to squish all that pasta bolognese down towards the bottom of the bag, closest to the heating element. That would be really smart. Would have been nice if that sticker worked, but you know, shit happens. So we will sit that over here on our relatively insulated patch so that thing can heat the hell up. Hopefully we get some really good ration heating action out of this thing. I'm feeling like slightly on the spectrum right now, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm just like mildly tarded, because that's what I'm doing right now, is like going full tard. All right, maybe that's just going to take a minute to start working. We'll let it think about it. Meanwhile, let's crack into these drinks. We know we're getting that 3-in-1 coffee. Yes, I don't even care what time of day it is. It's always coffee time in this bitch. I have a feeling this is going to smell really excellent coming out of the package. Refreshing strawberry. I do like strawberry flavored things. I like real strawberries too, so we'll see exactly how this goes. That tear notch is a little on the spectrum as well, so we'll solve that problem. And I just want to smell that. I have a feeling it's going to smell great. That smells like the most absolutely artificial strawberry candy ever. And quite frankly, I'm a little excited about it. I know that's kind of weird. I do love natural strawberry flavor. And this is just a personal thing, but I really like fake strawberry flavor for some reason. No clue why. So that's a me thing, not a you thing. Or maybe it is a you thing and you're weird like me. You are here, so there's that. Anyway, 45 grams of this fortified energy drink powder, a refreshing strawberry. Just want to like hover that dust over here so I can sniff it. Oh, that smells really good. It's really crazy. It smells great. Let's check out this lemon flavor. That is also 45 grams. Wonder how this one smells. Ooh, that smells kind of rough. Smells like really sour lemons. That probably will not translate into the flavor though, thank goodness. And finally, we have achieved liftoff as it blows the spoon container over here. Or not. Or just gets that Mongolian box all wet. Uh-oh. Come on, spoons, you can do it. All right, so at least we're going to get to have some nice hot pasta bolognese, or at least ostensibly. Let's get these salted peanuts out on the tray. Smack your nuts. Let's smell these to make sure they didn't go rancid. And they smell perfectly fine. That beef stick does have me raising eyebrows at a few things just to keep myself safe. That's not a horrible portion of peanuts. 50 grams. It's not a ton of nuts. If you're a real like peanut mauler like I am, like I could just really screw up some peanuts, but it's a decent sized portion, especially if it is just a snack. And since we have a little bit of water that needs to come up off the tray, it's a perfect time to check out some tissues. I really do like the 10-pack of tissues in every ration. I know it sounds like I'm joking when I say that, but I'm completely not. You could absolutely do a whole lot of things with these tissues, and considering that everybody needs the way to wipe their ass, I tend to think this is really important. I mean, I can always blow a snot rocket, but I can't blow a shit rocket. Well, maybe I can, but the fact of the matter is that I can shoot a booger out of my nose at high velocity and then just kind of do a little bit of cleanup on aisle 5 with my sleeve and not feel super skeevy about it. You can't do that in any way, shape, or form when you're pooping. There's just no way to do it. Maybe somebody out there can. I've never mastered the art of cleaning my ass with like high pressure, like coming out of the butt. It just doesn't work. So tissues, napkins, something to wipe that ass with, especially in a 24-hour ration, really are important, at least to me, at least in my opinion. Tissues are a really important component, and there's no better thing than just to put a 10-pack of tissues in a ration coupled with a couple of really decent wipes that you can kind of clean yourself up with. Or if you had a really messy duty, you can clean up the back door first with the tissues and then with the wet wipes. It's a great idea. United States, are you listening? Because that little booger paper that you give out just isn't cutting it. It's absolutely horrible. Tissues for the win. And we've got this fruit flapjack bar, which I'm really excited about. These damn things are amazing. I don't care what anybody says. These are like a big, enormous, chewy, yummy, tasty granola bar. Not hard in any way, shape, or form. Super soft, almost like a big ass oat cake. That is an amazing piece of kit right there. And that fruit nougat bar, exotic fruit nougat bar. Let me correct myself, a little exotic fruit. Don't want to downplay that in any way, shape, or form. This thing is nice and sticky. I have a feeling this ration saw some heat stress in its storage or in its travels around the world. From the great nation of Great Britain to the United States, I'm pretty sure this thing probably took some abuse, not only physical, but emotional. And getting this out of this wrapper kind of blows. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, the wrapper on this nougat was a really piss poor idea. This really thin cellophane that just gets stuck to everything. And the whole thing is shiny and glistening, so you can't really tell where the wrapper begins and ends. Yeah, not the best wrapper on the planet. As a matter of fact, probably one of the worst ways they could wrap this damn thing. Let the struggle session begin. I really want this damn fruit nougat bar, though, so I'm going to fight it out. We're probably going to need to open up that other wet wipe. Oh, maybe not. This is an absolute mess. I would not wish this on a soldier. They don't have time for this shit. This definitely should have been in a foil-lined package, but while it's all nice and stuck to me and it's already made a mess out of me, check out that exotic fruit nougat bar. I mean, it literally just... Oh, yep, I totally dropped that on the floor. That might be some floor dirt on there, so that's completely on me. Anyway, it's really sticky. On the tray it goes. That was a massive fail. And that refreshing strawberry action. And the lemon. And that 3-in-1 coffee action. That's absolutely awesome. These two alone, and just a tiny little bit of water that I put in that FRH, consumed an entire liter of water. So that's a shit ton of hydration. And we have the coffee. We still have other drinks left. That's absolutely bitchin'. And I really like the fact that not a whole lot of food coloring was harmed in the making of these beverages. Speaking of the beverages, let's go ahead and knock these two guys out because they're staring at me. Well, wait a minute. Coffee was the last one to get hydrated, and we just can't leave coffee hanging like that. Let's go ahead and get a big old sip of this awesome 3-in-1 coffee. That's absolutely good stuff. Rocking over to some refreshing strawberry. Now, this is the fortified drink. You can definitely smell that when you bring it up to your nose. It has that pungent, like B vitamin smell. That's okay. It doesn't translate that much in the taste. It definitely has an artificial strawberry flavor. If you don't like artificial strawberry, that's probably not for you, but you're going to need the vitamins, so you better drink that shit anyway. I happen to find it rather enjoyable. It tastes like a fake strawberry flavored candy as far as I'm concerned. Let's rock on the lemon, see what lemon has to offer. You know, and I really can't hate on that lemon either. Both of them taste artificially flavored. The flavor profile of these beverages really do remind you of a kid's drink, and I really have no issues with that. Simply because they're light, they're refreshing, the flavors do not hang around really long inside of your mouth, which is a good thing. And if you are using these drink mixes to disguise the taste of your treated water, you're really going to grow to appreciate those flavors very quickly. Even if you don't like the flavor that much, it is going to help make your treated water taste a whole lot less like ass. And that is really important. And let's grab a few of these peanuts while we're waiting for that pasta bolognese to finish its heating process. We're going to give it just another minute while we nom on these nuts, literally. So take a look at those guys. Not the worst looking peanuts I've ever seen. Nothing spectacular, but hey, they're peanuts. Wonder how my pasta bolognese is doing. Well, it feels warm back there. I mean, not too warm to touch. It's just warm. We'll figure it out. Those peanuts are nice and lightly roasted. Nice salt content. Just a layer of really finely powdered salt on the outside. Those are actually really good peanuts. Before we crack into those more dessert-like items, it is totally time to get this pasta bolognese out on the tray. So let's see how this flameless ration heater did. It's not the best FRH I've ever seen. It did get the pasta bolognese kind of warm. It's pleasantly warm. It's not the hottest food I've ever had come out of a flameless ration heater, but let's check out this pasta bolognese anyhow, because it's what's for lunch. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's take a peek down in here, see what that looks like in the sack. I mean, that looks saucy and greasy. Take a look at that. Pasta bolognese is not the most interesting ration item, but we've had our good and bad pasta bolognese here on this channel, so we're going to give this one its day in court as we squeeze all that pasta and meaty goodness out of there. All the pasta bolognese, I'm a grown boy, I need my nutrition. Kickle. All right, let's check out this pasta bolognese. So we have some big or medium size shell noodles, which is pretty cool. I like a little shell action. Check that out. We have a big old piece of mushroom coming right to the top. That's interesting. We have some tomato hunks laying, or just a really small piece of tomato in there. You can see the finely shredded ground and or minced beef floating around in there. A nice red tomato sauce. There is a little bit of seasoning floating around in here. That's always a positive thing. To be 100% honest, I got a big whiff of this, and it smelled just like a can of Chef Boyardee, which is just a little off-putting to me, simply because as a person that does not suffer with any type of acid reflux, if I eat anything made by Chef Boyardee, I absolutely need some Tums before the end of the day, so I'm hoping this isn't like Chef Boyardee and gives me a massive case of the heartburn, but we will check it out. I'll take one for the team. British Chef Boyardee be damned. So we've got that first bite, that pasta bolognese. I'm bringing it right up to your face so you can see that. That's what we're about to nom on for lunch. Let's just shut up and get the first bite. Actually, that's not that bad. As far as a retort pouch pasta bolognese goes, that's actually pretty tasty. It's not at all like Chef Boyardee. A little bit in the sense that the noodles are slightly mushy, but you're going to get that, period, end of story. Even in a freeze-dried main, you could get some slightly mushy noodles. It depends on how they were cooked before they were freeze-dried. This is just like high-pressure canning in a bag, so it's a lot like any other canned pasta I've had in that respect. I do like the flavor of the sauce, though. It smelled just like a canned pasta, like a Chef Boyardee, which kind of gave me a frowny face, if I'm being honest, but it actually has a really good taste. The meat that's in here has a really nice texture, very finely ground beef, but you can actually tell it's there. You can absolutely taste it. It tastes like beef, thank goodness. And the sauce is not overly acidic. It's actually pretty enjoyable. If it were hotter, it would be a lot more fun, but even just kind of mildly warm, not bad for lunch. Not that it truly absolutely needs a spicy red chili sauce. We're going to get this sambal on there because pasta bolognese is a little bit of a boring dish. I've had it a bunch of times, but it is a solid, good meal to have. Spicy red chili sauce is where it's at, so let's see how we can dress this up with a little sambal. It does smell pretty damn good. Maybe I've just had some busted sambal in the past. That actually smells hot and spicy. I really hope it is. So I've got to know. I got to get it itty bitty teeny tiny, itty bitty teeny. Just give me some of the shit. Anyway, that little gloop right there is some sambal. I'm going to stick that in my face by itself before I stick it in that pasta bolognese. And that's interesting on its own. Extremely salty by itself, which that's fine. It's a very small portion. Not extraordinarily spicy. I wish it were a bit more hot, but I'm going to get it in this pasta bolognese, try to get it equally mixed up in there so we can get a little bit of sambal with every bite. I kind of feel like this very small portion of sambal isn't going to go a very long way to really seasoning this main. I wish they would just put like a standard hot sauce in there. That way you could just put some really just yummy heat in this dish. Because I took a bite of that sambal straight, and it really just tastes like salt and vinegar more than it tastes like anything else. It had a really good pepper smell. It just left no heat in my face whatsoever. That's a bummer, but we've got it pretty well mixed up. Let's get a bite of that with the added sambal. Yeah, that sambal just literally got lost in there. Like, it doesn't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I can't tell I put it in there. It tastes pretty much the same. I think that sandball pack just needs to be like 3 times that size, or they need to put 3 packs in there. Then maybe it would change the flavor profile of the main that you put it in. It's just a little underwhelming as far as a hot sauce goes, and that's kind of a bitch. I do like spicy food, and that sandball didn't help scratch that itch, but that's all right. The pasta bolognese is still pretty decent. And that's a big old bite with a shroom in there. Tell you what we're going to do just for fun. We're going to drop a few peanuts on there. Why? Because, I don't know, the texture is very unidimensional unless you're getting a big portion of beef with it. It's just kind of mushy, tomato-y, like a canned pasta. It's certainly not the worst pasta bolognese I've ever had, and I've had some pretty shitty pasta bolognese. This is not a shitty pasta bolognese. It's actually pretty decent, but I could certainly use some texture, so we threw some nuts on it. And quite honestly, the flavor of those peanuts goes relatively well with this pasta bolognese, oddly enough, and the added salt certainly helps with the flavor, and the texture is pretty awesome. So if you're a frequent flyer here on Ration Nerd, you probably know that there's not much that can't be solved with a liberal application of these nuts right here. These nuts will make everything just fine. Am I pushing the envelope with that? No, not really. Is it corny as hell? Absolutely. But it doesn't matter, because here on Ration Nerd, we do what the hell we want. Nuts to the rescue. Which is kind of a funny statement, in all honesty, because as a person who happens to personally own a pair of nuts, they're normally all up in the way, like completely in the way all the time. There's not a time that I can think, oh, I'm so glad that these nuts weren't in the way today. Normally, they're completely in the way. Sometimes they fade into the background, but a lot of times they're just all up out there, or they're sticking to you. It's just really messy. This is the only time I can ever say that the nuts actually save the day. Pardon me, could I offer you this very last bite of pasta bolognese with nuts? Your bite? Your bite? No nuts? Nuts? Okay, fine. It's mine. And this is I'm not excited about it, but I'm not hating on it either, spoon drop. And you never leave your nuts out on the table. Am I taking this whole nut thing too far? Maybe. But you know what? I'm having a good time with it. And if you're having a good time with it, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know exactly what you thought about these nuts. Because I'm all about hearing my subscribers and just random ass people talk about my nuts in the chat. I love that stuff. Gotta clean up that palate. Coffee. It's fucking amazing. Let's crack into this fruit flapjack. This thing is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna show you the close-up. There you go. There's a little fruit flapjack. You can see all those nice grains in there. And then we're gonna give you the cross section just for fun, so you can see what the interior looks like with all those fruity bits hanging out in there. And we're going to give you a flavor profile of this guy, because I have been waiting, dying even, to get this thing in my face. Oh my god. These things are so good. You talk about something that is soft, sweet, chewy, satisfying. It's absolutely everything you need. This could be a breakfast item. It could be a dessert item. It could be a middle of the day snack. It's sweet enough that it seems like a dessert. It's chewy enough that it's just a really satisfying thing to eat. This thing has a good bit of calories in it, some fiber, some carbs, a little bit of protein from the oats. This is an amazing ration item. I can't stress that enough. I love these things. I was really hoping that we get, well, maybe like a 3-pound fruit flapjack. That would have been amazing. But no, seriously, I would have loved the bigger bar simply because I think this is a great ration addition. And these things are absolutely yummy. If you get a chance to get your hands on one of these, prepare to be amazed. This is one of the yummiest things that comes out of a bag. I don't know. This is one of those items that if we did have taste division and I was actually going to lose a bite of it, I don't know. I really like you guys, so I probably would share a bite with you. But it would be a close run thing, because these damn things are good. And for that little bar, you get over 200 calories in this little bar. That thing was just a small square. Having like 215 or so calories in there for just that small 50-gram bar, that's really calorie dense, extraordinarily enjoyable, and I want some more. And I totally hate to wash the taste of that out of my mouth. We're going to clean the palate and get some vitamins at the same time. Hydration, totally for winners. Anyway, let's rock on to this super sticky, exotic fruit nougat bar that I dropped on the floor, picked up some dirt. I'm only getting one of these today, so we just kind of have to roll with the dirt. Well, let's get a little dirty fruit nougat bar, and that is an excellent fruit nougat bar. I got a big old piece of fruit in there that was citrus. It tasted amazing. This is very sweet, very vanilla flavored, and a very nice, soft, chewy nougat. It was a pain in the ass because it was stuck to that wrapper, but honestly, at this point, even after dropping it on the floor and picking up some dirt out of the ration dungeon, this is yummy as hell. I'm glad I fought through the wrapper to get to it, and I totally would even if I was in the field, especially because I have tissues and I probably wouldn't have poop fingers, so I wouldn't have to worry too much about touching this thing. This is a really yummy, very sugary, but absolutely tasty treat. And the fruit in there, I just bit straight through that. I'll bring it up to you. You might not want to see it, but we're going to see it anyway. That piece of fruit actually had a really good texture to it. You could kind of hear the fruit fibers like squishing in between your teeth. It's actually really good. And there's some more citrus in that bite. And that orange fruit really tastes like mango. Wow. They're not bullshitting you about the whole exotic fruit thing. That's decadent. It's really yummy, really sweet. A great sweet pick-me-up. And so we don't have to do this at dinner time and mess up that chocolate pudding with chocolate sauce, because I kind of want that to linger in my face for a little while. We're going to check out this strong mint gum. I really hope by strong mint they actually mean mint and not menthol, but we'll find out. So we have 2 decent-sized rectangular chiclets that are going right in the face. Oh, that is menthol as hell. Oh, that's rough. You've got to like menthol to get into that. I don't know why they bothered calling that mint. No mint was ever harmed during the production process of this gum. That is straight up menthol. It's not for me. If you love the way an unflavored Hall's throat lozenger tastes, that gum is for you. I don't happen to like that flavor. Menthol is not for me, so that gum isn't for me. But we tried it. But anyway, that was lunch. It was pretty damn good. That pasta bolognese was relatively basic, but it turned out. The sambal didn't really do anything. I'm kind of bummed out about that. The peanuts, however, the nuts saved the day. Once I dipped my nuts in that pasta bolognese, it salted it up a little bit. It added some crunchy texture. That completely made that pasta bolognese worth eating, so that was awesome. That fruit flapjack was absolutely off the hook. That exotic fruit nougat bar was completely on point. That was even better than the French nougat bar, which I didn't think it was possible to get better than that one, but that nougat bar was absolutely banging. Drinks all the way around. Hydration is bitchin'. But I'm going to have to finish up these drinks off camera unless you want some of that ASMR sipping and gulping noises. If you do, let me know in the comments. I'm absolutely joking. I'm not doing an ASMR. I will see you guys in 3 or 4-ish hours where we're going to get into some dinner. We're going to have a really good time. We're going to put the rest of this ration to bed, and I'll see you then. All right, everybody, welcome back to dinner. We're keeping it simple, but not, because we have a main and a dessert. That's absolutely awesome. We're going to rock out some hot cocoa beverage powder. We're also going to get that grapefruit flavored drink powder. I do have 2 teas and a coffee left and some really heinous gum. I'm going to save these so I can share with you guys because I like to do that. And I got to get up balls early in the morning, and it's already 7:30 p.m. here. I know it's kind of a late day. It's a late dinner, but I really don't need any caffeine in my life, even though I'm more or less immune to it. I just don't want to take any chances when you got to get up at dark 30 in the morning. Having a lot of caffeine before you go to bed is probably not the best idea on the planet. Anyway, we boiled these pouches. I eat 2 rations in the morning and 2 rations at night and 2 rations in the afternoon, cause that shit makes me feel alright. And 2 rations in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I eat 2 rations and then I eat 2 rations and then I eat 2 more. Just like that. So these guys are nice and screaming hot. So we're going to get to it. Let's start with this hot cocoa powder. That is a lot of cocoa powder in there. It seems like a big honking amount. How many grams is this package right here? Here it is. It's net weight of 60 grams. So this is 60 grams of hot cocoa powder, which is pretty bitchin'. This is about 250 calories of hot cocoa. And this one actually has a tear notch, so we can utilize that. Not too shabby. Let's get a little, let's get a little snifferoo of that hot cocoa powder. That smells really good, if I'm being 100% honest, and I totally am. That is a metric shit ton of hot cocoa powder. It says to mix with up to 500 mils of water, so I guess it's like dealer's choice. Whatever you feel like throwing in there. So we're going to fill that glass up. It ought to be just fine, if not a little thick, but there's nothing wrong with having it a little thick. That's what she said. And some nice screaming hot water. Going a little out of order. I normally open up both drinks first, but you know, whatever. And that fruit flavored drink powder grape, that ought to be pretty decent. At least I hope. The rest of the drink powders have been pretty yummy so far. That smells really interesting. It doesn't smell like grape. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe GRA stands for something else. Hopefully it's not grapefruit. That would really suck. I would have saved the worst cold drink, in my opinion, because I'm not a big grapefruit fan. Oh well, shit happens. 45 grams of something flavored drink powder. Hydration inbound. Yeah, goddammit, that looks like grapefruit. Man. And that nice hot cocoa, give that a big swizz. That cocoa might need another stir. That is all right. We have our chicken curry with potatoes and rice. That was all nice and boiled up. And we have that chocolate pudding and chocolate sauce. I normally eat this cold. I've never tried it hot before, so today, since I had a nice hot pot of water going, we threw that chocolate pudding and chocolate sauce right in that hot water, got it nice and hot. So now we're going to have some hot chocolate pudding, which ought to be pretty interesting. And we have that chicken curry. Let's get that out of the bag, nice and hot. Ooh, that's like really yellow. That'll stain your guts. Let's get a, that looks, it smells really good. It just looks like a big pile of mush inside of that bag, if I'm being honest, but let's get it out of there and see what it's got to offer for dinner. That's really greasy. Nice fat content. That'll definitely help to keep a soldier full. Get all that fat out of there. Lord knows we need it. And let's check out this chocolate pudding. We're just going to squeeze this right out of the package. I've had this before. I actually like it, even though it's kind of strange, but I have no hate for it. This is actually different. Ooh, I have mixed the two together. Chocolate chicken curry. This is different than the chocolate pudding I've had. Usually the chocolate pudding in British rations is like little balls of chocolate pudding. This is like a big old brick. That's kind of cool. I'm down with that. All right, well, here we go. First thing we're going to do is bust into that hot cocoa simply because I want to. It's a little chunky. It could probably use a little bit more water, but I don't really care. I'm going to get a big old sip of it, and we're going to give it its day in court. That is nice and thick and sweet and yummy. Really dark, rich cocoa flavor, which I really like. It doesn't have the creamiest flavor ever. It tastes more like sugar and cocoa than it does the cream side of the house, if that makes any sense. That is not a bad hot cocoa, though. Of course, it's exceptionally sweet because I did not mix it with a full 500 mils of water. We give about 0 shits simply because it's my ration, and if I were a soldier out in the field, I would mix it up however the hell I damn well pleased, and that's exactly what I did here at the ration table. This is sweet, it's chocolatey, it's yummy. It'll definitely fill that void when you're looking for something that's sweet and yummy, especially if it's cold and you want something nice and hot. This will definitely do the trick. So we're definitely getting our chocolate fix on today. Let's get that curry and potatoes away from the chocolate. That's not exactly my dream combo right there. Let's check out this chicken, curry, and potatoes, what we have going on in here. We do have some decent sized pieces of chicken, of course, rice floating around in here. That looks like a slice of pepper. That's really cool. I love peppers. We do have some other green peppers in here. That's always yummy. Maybe a carrot or something floating around in there. There's a little orange bit down in there that doesn't exactly look like a pepper, probably more like a carrot. So it really looks like we have rice, chicken, green and red peppers, which is always awesome, rice and a curry sauce, and you can see this nice fat content stewing around in the bottom there. What's that guy over there? Is that a piece of mushroom? Is that a raisin? I'm not really sure. It's a dark vegetable matter thing. Not really sure. Don't really care. Maybe it's a potato skin. Really hard to tell in this mushy configuration that it's in. No fucks given. We're going at it. We're going to make sure. Oh, and we forgot the potatoes. There's potatoes in there if you didn't know. We're going to get big old scoop of everybody. Get a nice piece of chicken in there. Some taters. Give me some of that rice. We're going to get a big old bite. I'll bring that first bite up to you so you can see this healthy goodness I'm about to put back in my face hole. So let's give this curry chicken and potatoes a big old bite. You know, and that's actually really good. It's got a really satisfying flavor. It's very mild. It could use some hot and spicy seasoning. That would make it absolutely amazing. It has a really nice creamy curry flavor, which is great. The potato starch definitely mixed in with the rice starch and gave it a really thick, almost like a overly thick stew kind of sauce to it, which I kind of appreciate. It's really good. The chicken is definitely moist, which is really nice. The potatoes don't just fall apart. They actually have some texture. This is a quality main. Other than maybe some black pepper or just some random ass hot sauce to put in here to give it a little spicy kick, that's the only thing I would change. I don't want or need any salt with this. Just some pepper, something to make it spicy, and this would be absolutely banging. Even as it is, it has a really nice, deep, rich curry flavor. I'm digging it. I have a feeling this main is going to evaporate off of the tray really quickly. This is actually really good. I like this a lot. This is definitely not a main you would want to eat cold in any way, shape, or form. So I'm kind of hustling through it because it is starting to lose some temperature, and that really sucks. This is absolutely not something I would even begin to try to eat cold unless I was absolutely desperate. I would have eaten the pasta bolognese cold before I'd ever eat this one cold. I imagine with only one FRH in this ration, you'd figure that out pretty quick. But what do I know? I'm not a military guy. I'm just a nerd sitting at a table eating rations, but I do happen to make some sense every once in a great while, have just a little nugget of smartness. I don't know. This is a really good main though. I'm dying for some black pepper or hot sauce on it. It would be absolutely banging. The creamy consistency of that sauce just really gives us an excellent mouthfeel. I know that sounds really funny, but it's absolutely true. It actually has a great texture. The potatoes aren't mushy. They actually have some texture. The chicken has a nice chew without being dry or overly chewy. This was really well done. A really great retort pouch main. And whatever voodoo magic they used, which is probably just the potato starch and the starch from the rice, made this sauce really creamy and rich and thick. And that fact alone makes this a winner. Look at all that fat. Fat is good. I love me some fat. Fat is good for you. I don't care what anybody says. The American Heart Association can kiss my ass, because fat is totally where it's at. I'm going to wind up with one of those little disclaimers under the video. The American Heart Association, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Yeah, whatever. They really should have made this main like 400 or 450 grams. This is really yummy and really satisfying, and I'm actually really sorry to see it leaving my tray. Oh man, I'm not even all that hungry if I'm being 100% honest, but that is a food item that was just so damn good. I'm just really sad that I had to eat it fast because it was losing temperature, and two, that it's gone, because it's a real damn shame. Speaking of gone, there's that last bite so you guys can take a big old look at it before I stuff it in my face hole. That was absolutely excellent. Well, let's try this, what I think is grapefruit flavored beverage. I always screw the word grapefruit up if I'm not paying attention to what I'm saying. Let's give it a try. Might not be that bad. Huh, that's really interesting. As far as anything I've ever had in a ration that was grapefruit flavored, that's actually really mild and just basically tastes like a generic citrus drink. It doesn't really taste like grapefruit. I'm all about that. If you're gonna make something taste like grapefruit, the best thing you can do is actually not make it taste like grapefruit, because grapefruit kind of tastes like ass. So if any grapefruits were harmed in the making of that drink, I would be supremely surprised. But as it is, it's just a mild citrus drink. I'm all about it. You can call it grapefruit all you want, but it certainly doesn't taste like grapefruits to this guy, and I don't really like grapefruit anything, and I could completely drink that and be happy about it. Just tastes like generic citrus, which is awesome. Let's get into this. A chocolate pudding with the chocolate salsa. And speaking of said chocolate salsa, let's get a little bit of that. Get a big old nom of that chocolate pudding, which is like a big old pudding bar instead of little pudding nuggets, which I'm all about. Like, I kind of like it. So let's bring that up so you guys can see it. Little chocolate pudding action for your viewing pleasure. Let's just stop babbling about it and just throw this right in my big old face. That is definitely chocolatey, and that whole pudding thing, there is a big difference between pudding here in the United States and pudding over in Great Britain, at least as far as I can tell. Pudding seems to be, in Great Britain, more of a bread product than what we have here in the United States. It's just like a gelatinous, milky, kind of, creamy thing. That's what we normally think of when we think pudding. This is definitely more like a big ass chocolate biscuit and some sauce that was all cooked together into this really thick and rich chocolatey thing. Now, because this is in a retort pouch, it has a little bit of that processed taste to it, which isn't great. You can definitely get a really good background taste of chocolate. It's almost like a warm, kind of squishy, maybe a little bit spongy brownie, which really isn't bad at all. Like I said, the retort packaging gave it a little bit of an artificial taste, but all in all, this is a yummy ass item, and it's really good warm. I'm really happy that I heated it up. And it seems like that artificial or processed taste is really coming from the sauce, and it's not coming from the actual pudding part of it, which is kind of cool. You could eat around the sauce if you really wanted to. And oddly enough, when I had this cold, it really didn't have that processed taste to it. Heating it up definitely brought that processed flavor out of it, which is kind of weird. But to be fair, I always had it as the little balls, not the big old brick. So maybe there's a difference between the recipes on the two items. And I would definitely say that there is a difference because this is much more cakey, where the little balls are much harder and much more dense. This is a whole lot more like a, I don't know, kind of a wet, spongy, like chocolate cake. And I'm all about it. It's really good, minus the weird taste in the sauce, but I can just kind of eat around that. And it is a pre-packed retort item. Kind of have to give it a little bit of leeway. That's actually really good and really satisfying. If you can isolate the bread product in here or the pudding away from the actual chocolate sauce, all that weird packaged taste, which isn't horrible, don't get me wrong, but all that weird like processed taste is actually in the sauce. This really just tastes like a warm, wet, spongy brownie, and I really actually kind of enjoy that, and I like it. So call me strange. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's all about me, but this is a good dessert item. I can only imagine if they'd thrown like a little 50-gram tube of sweetened condensed milk in here, how epic that would be with a little drizzle of sweetened condensed on it. Man, that's why sweetened condensed milk should absolutely be standard in every ration across the planet. That shit should be part of the Geneva Convention. Rations must have sweetened condensed milk, period. End of story. Otherwise, you're going to wind up in The Hague. Go for a little chocolate overload. If the soldier that got this ration actually had the time to maybe like rip out their mess cup and boil both of these items up and get them nice and hot, man, this would be a real morale boost at the end of a hard, kick-ass, well, military kind of day. And you know what else is crazy about this pudding? Back to back, having this 300-gram main and then this 200 grams of chocolate pudding, that's quite a lot. And to be honest with you, this is extraordinarily filling, so this would be a great end of the day meal. This chocolate pudding is a great ration item. You would certainly probably get a kick out of this. If you like kind of a really moist, kind of spongy brownie, it's all about you, boo. This would be the dessert you'd be going after in a ration. I still think they shit the bed not putting some sweetened condensed milk in here, but I'm a ration nerd, so what are you going to do? This is still a really good item. And you'll have to forgive me if I want better for soldiers around the planet. They deserve a much better existence than they have. I'm going to bring that up to you guys so you can get a cross-section on that hunk o' pudding and see that bread-like or brownie-like texture of that stuff, and try not to roll the spoon too far back so it doesn't fall on my face. Be fucking hysterical. Anyway, that's the last bite of that pudding, and we're about to put this ration to bed. And this is a fuck yeah to my British brothers and sisters for having some banging chocolate pudding in their ration, or with the chocolate salsa. All right, my friends, that was dinner, and this was a hell of a lot of fun. We'll nitpick it in the wrap-up, but needless to say, I'm pretty damn satisfied, and that hot cocoa and that not grapefruit drink is totally coming with me. So thank you guys for joining me here on Ration Nerd, where today we got into yet another rare ration. Not rare in the sense as you've never seen a British ration before, but you've not seen this one before because it's just not out there on YouTube. This is the 24-hour Enhanced Ration Pack, which just so happens to have replaced Jungle Ration in the British lineup. This was produced in 2022, might be a little out of date, zero shits given. It was a lot of fun. The only item we lost in it was that janky-ass beef stick, and that looked like there was definitely some shit growing on it. I was not sticking that in my face. And you know what that thing really smelled like? The beef stick? It really smelled like a trip to the hospital, and I just didn't really feel like that, so you'll have to excuse me. Otherwise, this ration was full of hydration items, lots of good snacks, some decent mains, to be quite honest. There was nothing about this ration that really made me turn my nose up at it. Lots of fun snacks. Did I mention the fact that you can hydrate the hell out of yourself with this bag? Yes. This ration was definitely, absolutely modeled after the Jungle Ration, and then you're not carrying them out on a stretcher to get them to the hospital just to put an IV bag on them when they could have been drinking the whole time. That shit kind of makes sense. And if you like things that make sense, do you know what you guys could do for this guy? You could absolutely hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and talk to me in the chat. It is always a great time to hear from you guys. And you could also get your own Ration Nerd bucket hat if you go check out the merch. If you want some Ration Nerd merch, it'd be kind of cool. You can pimp the channel on your chest or on your head and maybe even on your butt. And you know what? It's not up to me where you put stickers. You could always get a Ration Nerd sticker and stick that shit anywhere you want to. This is that part of the video right now where I tell you if you can find something cooler than this 24-hour Enhanced Ration Pack from the nation of Great Britain to put in your face hole. Do you know absolutely what you should be doing? If you don't, I'm going to tell you, because here it comes. Eat 'em up.
And my man was like, dun, 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 dun. I eat 2 rations in the morning. I eat 2 rations at night. I eat 2 rations in the afternoon, cause it makes me feel alright. I eat 2 rations in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I eat 2 rations before I eat 2 rations, and then I eat 2 more. Bitches, dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna eat the rations to the day I die. Gonna eat the rations to the day I die. My father, he once told me, son, you be hard-working man. My mama, she once told me, son, you do the best rations you can. And then one day, I met a man who came to me and said, I work good and I work fine, but them rations take care of my head.